Welcome to a new episode of
Search the sports. It's pussy ass. It's pussy ass. It's pussy ass.
Sports. I'm guessing this goes along with the new beat.
Nope.
Did you hear it?
I don't.
Nope.
I think they change songs, so it probably doesn't go along.
Nope.
I just created. Look, for some reason, 80s synth music has been resonating with me over the last 72 hours, and I made a new song, but I just got to put the lyrics on it.
The past 72 hours.
Yeah, they've been
a weird ass dream, bro. That music was in there.
You'll figure out more of my final thoughts.
Oh God.
Okay, so let's start off. Obviously football Sunday.
Wait, there was football on Sunday?
There was football on Sunday. And we got some news too out of football, and some of that news being that the Pro Bowl has been canceled essentially as we know it.
Good.
The Pro Bowl no longer exists. They have decided to move to what fans have been clamoring for decades, it seems, which is like a week of fun events and shit and like skill games, and a flag football game, which is what the Pro Bowl was anyway, just with pads.
Yeah.
So
not to Sean Taylor.
I want to see.
Hey, that was a vicious hit.
Longest
wasn't that against like the Bills punter too?
Brian Mormon.
He became Mormon shortly after.
Also with that, Rihanna was announced to be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. It's super, super, super exciting for me. When Beyonce performed, the Ravens were in the Super Bowl. Now we're going to get Rihanna in the Super Bowl when the Ravens are going to be there. And so there's something I'm super excited about.
Fuck you.
Bruce Springsteen should be.
Here is why I find that Rihanna doing it is super fucking awesome. One, because Rihanna. And two, it's because Apple has the halftime show, which hopefully to me means that in the next couple of years, Apple will also have all of the NFL, so I could just bundle it into all the shit I'm already paying for instead of not being able to get DirecTV on Sundays and not being able to watch the Bills, except that I still do. Well, that's huge.
I was going to take it further.
I hope, because obviously Prime has Thursdays, but if Apple gets the rest of the games, man, that would be fucking like charge. Well, how much? $500? I don't care. Take that.
Don't do that.
Oh, fuck no.
I mean, I already paid. This is already $1,500 for 2 years.
I hope this means that Rihanna's actually making music again.
I hate that people keep saying this. No, do you know who performs at Super Bowls? Legacy X.
Also, didn't she?
Who? The Rolling Stones.
She just had a baby.
Hey,
this doesn't mean that.
No. I know it. I'm sure it doesn't. Like,
she just had a baby.
The hope is that we get new music. I'd rather hear the music than not hear it.
I want people to stop hoping that though, because it's not like, all right, because one, it's going to be hard to top. And two, it's like, bro, Anti was amazing, first of all. And three, she can't fucking sing. She makes good music, but she can't fucking sing.
Okay.
And I love Rihanna. Anti's better than Lemonade.
Don't play any fucking Rihanna music.
No, we're not playing.
I'm not playing shit.
I don't know.
Here's no. Because it's like, in what world do you tell somebody that likes an artist like, yeah, don't hope for no more new music from them?
She said she doesn't want to.
It's not. I will say this. Just from an artist standpoint, it's not the best idea to necessarily release music before the Super Bowl. I think maybe it should give you hope afterwards. Because look, no one wants to hear anybody.
That's what I mean.
I get it, but that's the thing. Nobody wants to hear anybody's new shit at the Super Bowl. It's not play the hits, play the ones you know.
Play the hits.
I agree.
Right?
The only thing is, I'm saying like, hopefully that means that we get Rihanna music at some point. It's not like cool.
What I hear is
I would like to hear it rather than not.
What I've heard is new music will be released and there'll be a QR code on your screen during the halftime show so you can get it, which will take you to Apple Music, which will make you pay for Apple Music.
Pretty badass. Yeah, no, that'd be pretty dope. I will say that if someone broke into my parents' house and put a gun on my mother's head and called me and said, hey, name 10 Rihanna songs, your mother gets it, I would say, bye, Mom. I love you. I'm so sorry.
You can't name 10 Rihanna.
I cannot name 10 Rihanna songs.
I can name 5.
Hey, you know what? Funny story about that. My brother's student wrote that song. But he's apparently it's somebody famous. Like if you guys said the name, I'd probably recognize it or whatever. But That's a good song. It's probably the only one. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up my Apple Music.
Fun fact, do you know that song isn't necessarily on an album or anything? She just wrote it because somebody owed her fucking money.
No,
it's not on an album. It's she wrote it.
I'm looking to see.
Owed her money.
I literally, if you guys can see my iPad, I literally only have one Rihanna song, and it's called "It's Bitch Better Have My Money." I have I don't know why I have T.I. "Live Your Life" featuring Rihanna, but beyond that, it's literally the only Rihanna song I have.
You don't have "Needed Me."
I don't have. Look, this is the thing is I like Rihanna. I was actually just watching this at the end while I've been in my fever dream, just watching things. And she's great in that with the whole Michael Cera slap on the aspect. But I like Rihanna. And look, Caribbean, I love the whole fan. But it's giant black hole. It's nothing.
All right, my guy, that was a weird gesture.
All right.
Oh yeah, I realized black hole.
No, don't do it again. All right,
go ahead. Think about Rihanna.
Oh no,
Rihanna, giant black hole.
I'm not gonna say that. She's probably really.
I'm getting. She just had a baby. Next topic.
Right. Next topic.
All right. No, the Pro Bowl thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just think people need to realize that in 3 years we're gonna hate this shit too.
No, because we don't watch the Pro Bowl anyway.
We don't watch the Pro Bowl. Even when they used to do the skills challenge, I don't know if everybody has selective memory. We didn't really watch them back then.
I watched it.
Yeah.
Some of them were fun. And you remember, but every year they needed to bring a new thing to see what it is that was going to stick. Then even the last few years when they've been doing like the dodgeball thing, I've actually had kind of fun watching the dodgeball. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I think from an NFL perspective, to do it over week long, maybe in prime time, this could get into something better than it has been. But I really do think in a few years we won't give two shits.
So the NHL skills competition is the only thing I watch. I don't even bother watching the NHL All-Star game because it doesn't matter. But like hardest shot, they have like slap shot accuracy that they did in the middle of the fucking fountains in Vegas this year where you had to shoot over the fountain.
Hockey has some really cool things you can do.
Right, but dude, I want to see who throws the farthest ball. I want to know. I need to know, and I'm going to find out.
Okay, who watches all of NBA All-Star Weekend?
No, nobody.
Do any of you watch
three-point competition, and that's it, and the celebrity game. That's it.
Do you watch the dunk
contest?
So you watch all the
I watch all the NBA stuff, except for like the celebrity fucking.
Why do you have to?
Huh?
Why do you have to?
Force ahead.
Especially with YouTube now, where it's like I don't have to wait for those long periods of like failed dunks.
Oh, I mean, even if you don't watch, like, even if you don't watch it live, you're still gonna watch it at some point. You're gonna see what happened.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl gets 0 of my eyeballs. I will at least watch replays of stuff that if I missed it. I won the dunk contest.
I don't even care about highlights.
Yeah, I rarely had. I mean, unless it's like a Washington player there, which is such a rarity.
But Peyton's doing it, so
this could be fun. With Peyton there, it could be fun.
He's better than most, right? Because you remember that Peyton thing where it's him throwing the balls at little kids?
Yeah, the United Way SNL app.
Yeah, it's so fucking good. Like he's a funny dude, and I'm pretty sure that he's gonna do a good job with this. Or he'll just be like after year one and be like, "This is garbage. I'm going back to selling pizzas."
Also, whoever's in charge of the guest list for the Manning cast need to really figure out and pick their spots right. Tracy Morgan, while I love him, is a terrible idea for Monday Night Football.
Because he was high on that Sherm. Anyway.
All right, moving on. So let's switch to football. Probably like the biggest game of the weekend, or the most important one, biggest fallout seemed to be Dolphins, Bills. I think we've all sung the praises of the Bills all season so far, and how great they are, how talented of a team they have. We think they'll go far, make a deep playoff run, all that good stuff. And it was kind of expected that they would essentially beat the Dolphins, but we were hoping for a good game. It was a good game, not as high scoring as some people may have thought, or most people may have thought. But the Dolphins got the upset, even though Tua got concussed during the game and came back.
They said he didn't.
Wick. It was his back. Couldn't you see that his back was spasming?
When I saw him fall, I missed
he was jello.
His injury as the game was going, and so I was the game ended or whatever. Then I saw the replay. I was like, what the fuck? How did he get back into the game? He's not even in concussion protocol.
I have one theory about that, and that is that well, two theories. One, they let him out too quickly, but I feel like there's too many checks and balances, especially with the new coach. Probably not gonna try and fuck with that too much. Two is that he was trying to sell it for the roughing the passer call and did a good job. Came out, went into the locker room, knew they weren't gonna have the ball back, came back out, whatever. But if he was concussed, there's a 0% chance that he passed all concussion protocol.
Yeah.
To come back out into that game. Right. That being said, that dude dismantled us. I will say, I like the gamesmanship of putting one team in the sun with no shade on 100-degree, 100% humidity day and being like, this is that's the most home field advantage shit I've ever seen. And I like it.
It's almost wrong.
It's almost
like
wrong.
The league needs to do something.
No, and here's why I like it. And look, none of the Bills made excuses. We had our fucking JV secondary out there because of injuries. We were missing Ed Oliver. Kumaro went down. Stephon Diggs he was so dehydrated he couldn't stay out played to play. He would cramp up, have to go to the sideline. That being said, look, they had the same heat, humidity, weren't in the sun, and they beat us. Also, we got the butt punt. Like, what else? Josh Allen, like, you could see there is a 0% chance that Josh Allen on that last play wasn't like, fuck, I am so exhausted. Because he would have been yelling, screaming, and then Tua just like cuddled him. Like, it was.
He did cuddle him.
It was, dude, but you could see like there were players shuffling in and out, just unable to continue because of hydration issues.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is when they come to Orchard Park, please know that we have removed the heated benches from the visiting side, and we will not allow you to bring your own benches. So just you got this. Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine in the snow.
I'm gonna call this right now. Next time that these teams play, Buffalo's gonna beat the living shit out of Miami. Look, I was actually telling my friend Brendan about this earlier today. Was how much the heat did play a factor in this game, which can't be overlooked in the sense of 100 degrees, high humidity. That bench, they're roasting. You guys had like 2 or 3 guys who just had to go back to the locker room for fluids. People getting ruled out of the game. Even the commentator, I think somebody was saying like Greg Olsen was in somewhere. If that was the game that he was doing, it was like he was sweating his ass off. I don't know. Buffalo and Green Bay. 2 of the teams probably play in the coldest climates. And if you really look at what happens look at Aaron Rodgers' record in the state of Florida, and then as far as Buffalo, usually there's been sort of a chasm as far as the talent recently between Miami and with Buffalo. But usually when you go to Florida, fucking all bets are off. It's just a really, really, really hard thing to contend with. To be there as far as the natural elements, I'd say it's the toughest shit in the league really to deal with is that sort of heat. You could do things to try to keep warm. You got hand warmers technology, all kinds of stuff. That shit just threw everything out of the window. Well, and Tua being as accurate as he's being and having those wide receivers that he has, it reminds me kind of Cincinnati last year in the sense that these are guys going to be able to just take it and go. I do think over the course of the season, Miami is going to sort of reverse back to the mean as right now, early in this football season, I think that it's been extremely weird. And I think that especially a lot of the new teams relying on some of the athleticism of some of the players, not necessarily playbook.
That was basically kind of going to be my question. Basically, like, how do we feel about the Dolphins as far as like being like legitimate playoff contenders? Are they just playoff contenders? Are they actual Super Bowl contenders right now? Are we wait and see? Like, where are we with that?
Legitimate playoff contender, but I don't see them. I'm not scared of them doing any damage in the playoffs.
My only concern at this juncture is not it's one, their run game, and 2, because the Bills still don't have a great run defense. We have played better this year, but with the injuries that we have, the sustained injuries, Mike Hyde's out for the season. We're gonna have some issues going forward. Ed Oliver's still out. And the fact that Jalen Waddle's a good receiver, but where was Tyreek that game? Where's the cheetah? Y'all see him? He got shut down by literally rookie first round and 6th round picks. Like, that would be my concern, is just their level of it. It seems like they just get up just enough, right? Because they just barely beat us. We could have won that game. Didn't, but we were still in contention at the end. I think if they run into a buzzsaw, can they really get up for that kind of game? But no, they're fucking good. I'm not gonna even lie. And that was smart. That's gamesmanship. You need to 3-0 gets you are an 80%, what is it, 78, 80%?
Especially with the schedule they got coming up.
Exactly. So they gamesmanship themselves to a win, and I don't blame them not one bit. They did what they had to do. The Bills obviously didn't prepare well enough. Also, why can't you get IVs on the sideline? That seems like something you should just be able to do.
I would think there'd be something as far as the sanitation or something like that.
It's the NFL.
Yeah, make it a sterile area.
Yeah, like the tents, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if you can make that sterile.
Look, I'm sterile. That's for another podcast.
James.
All right, I can talk now. Cool.
Sorry.
The biggest point out of this game for me was the fact that the Dolphins told on themselves. They tweeted out that Tua was questionable return with a head injury. Then after they got questioned about it, they came back and said, oh no, it was his back locked up. So now the NFLPA is investigating, and they're going to be in hot water because they put Tua back out there and he shouldn't have been.
Yeah, so what, they get fined?
You don't think they could,
I don't know.
James, you don't think they could explain it as something as simple as a miscommunication between them and like whoever on the social media team?
Well, I mean, that just depends. Like it really just depends. If it was just a miscommunication, then whatever. But if they really put him out there with a concussion, like, I don't know if anybody else had one. Like, that shit ain't fun.
I mean,
that shit's scary as hell. Like,
can't say
it's an injury to your brain.
They can't say anything now because there is an investigation, right? So they're not.
So they we'll see what happens.
Things will be revealed. My expectation, though, is they didn't do anything wrong. And the only reason I think that is because they have a new head coach who clearly cares about his players. I don't think he's throwing Tua out there because they drove on us with their backup. Like, I don't think they're putting Tua out there, putting Tua at risk.
It's not up to McDaniel, though. You know that, like, we know that. So it's like the
whatever information he got, exactly. Whatever information he got, he didn't he didn't misconstrue it, right? He was told one thing. They made a decision based off that. It's not like they're trying to hide something. It maybe the independent investigator or whatever the fuck his name is made a mistake, and then that guy's in hot water. But
what organization we talk about again?
Well, this is the Players Association's guy.
No, I'm talking about the Dolphins.
What do you mean, the NFL?
I don't trust Stephen Ross.
Oh, nah, I don't. I would find it very hard to believe.
I would too, but I wouldn't be surprised.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. My thoughts on the Dolphins are similar to what K-Dot was saying, basically, as far as the playoff concern. I think they're a legitimate playoff contender. I think I had them going 10-7 before the season, but missing the playoffs. But I mean, they could get in for sure. I think they have the talent. I think they do still have questions. Tua's had a couple good weeks. I was arguing with somebody today who tried to tell me that Tua and Trevor Lawrence weren't top 10 QBs this year, and I thought that that was very, very wrong. But he put up not a good argument, and I hope he's okay at home.
He said he won, though.
He did say he won, but his logic was stupid, so he didn't. And so off that, as far as them making playoffs, I don't know if I still don't know if they'll make the playoffs, to be honest. I
had them in there.
Their schedule will get a little easy, but
hey, they got a chance to put up some wins in the next few weeks.
Yeah, but the same way you said they'll go back down.
Oh no, the end of that season is going to be fucking hell.
They should be 1-2, really, if we're being honest. That should be 1-2. But hey, again, there are seasons where you get your close game luck. Right. They're looking like the Raiders looked last year. Hey, we're winning close games. We're eking them out. We're a good team. And maybe they'll just sneak on into the playoffs. Or that luck will come back during the end of the season where it's like, all right, yeah, you should have won them 2 games earlier in the season, and you're not going. Maybe you lose to the fucking Falcons now. Like you lose a couple of games you should win, or whatever. So I mean, I'm just interested to see how their season will play out. Though I like the Dolphins. Though they're fun to watch at worst. Like they are fun to watch.
And
but moving on from that,
they're ahead of schedule.
Say, if you rerun that Ravens games 100 times,
they lose.
They lose 99, right? So, yes. I think some of that luck. I mean, sometimes luck carries you through the season. I'm not saying this might not be their season, but it just seems. It seems like they got some holes. Everybody's got some holes. Rihanna has some holes. That's what you mentioned before.
You know who had some holes? And talk about luck and winnable games, the Colts. They got lucky because they shouldn't have won that game either. But they did. Also, one last thing about the Dolphins, they ran 39 plays. I mean, and the Bills ran what? Was it 80?
Yeah.
And it's very rare for you to win a game in which you run 39 plays and the other team
depends on when
80.
you score. Like
it rarely happens.
If they're long plays and you score off of them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, but statistically I'm speaking, you rarely win those games. But so with that said, moving on to the Colts, they had some luck swing their way too. A lot of people going into the game just picking the Chiefs. I'm in an eliminator on ESPN, and a lot of people picked the Chiefs to win their game. And they were wrong.
I lost when I picked y'all. That 1 week when I picked y'all versus the Dolphins, and I was out.
So you
yeah.
I wouldn't have picked us either. I wouldn't have picked us either. I forgot who I picked week 2, but I'm not going to get into that. I picked somebody. I think I picked it wasn't the Bengals. Pick somebody else. Doesn't matter. But anyway, so with that said, Colts upset the Chiefs. Matty Ice. Touchdown toward the end of the game. They came up lame in the beginning of the season against the Texans. They probably should have won that one late, but tied in overtime. But they got this one done, and they looked okay doing it. Not good necessarily, but they're dealing with a bunch of injuries, some on the offensive line. Michael Pittman came back, though. Jonathan Taylor isn't producing like I hoped he would when I drafted him second overall in Dynasty League. But I'm sure he'll turn that around because I have him for the next 5 years. But I want you guys' thoughts on the Colts upset of the Chiefs, and also kind of fold into that the Mahomes like Bieniemy blow up on the sideline. Like, do you guys think that's a thing as far as the play calling and that stuff? Because for me, like it just feels like the Chiefs have been good offensively this season, and as far as the play calling, there haven't been any issues. Ryan?
So remember last week when the Colts were dog shit and we were like, Jonathan Taylor only ran 8 times.
Yep.
He got the rock 21 times this game. Yep. You know what that does? It eats clock. And it also takes a little pressure off your very aged quarterback.
37.
Now that they're looking for the run, and play action is a little bit more viable. Also, the Colts defense still pretty goddamn good. So you have the ball. The Chiefs have the ball for less time. And yeah, they probably wanted to go for some home run plays, etc. They were not given that opportunity, which is probably why that sideline blow up happened. He's a competitor. They're both competitors, right? And Mahomes probably was like, that's not the fucking play I wanted. Bieniemy was like, but I'm your fucking coach. And Mahomes probably is like, I got to go do a State Farm commercial. And then, they had a little tete-a-tete. Look, the Colts are not run that game back again. It probably goes the other way. That being said, they have the right game plan. Run your guy, right? Run your workhorse. Let Matty Ice do what he can, and you might win a game. Look, they won a game. Defense is good enough to win them some games, and they did. It just happened to be against the Chiefs.
Yeah, James.
Shaquille Leonard just came back, right? That's what I'm checking out. Yeah, so he was out. So him coming back is a big help to that defense. In terms of the whole Jonathan Taylor thing, like, of course, like you don't want Matt Ryan to be throwing the ball all them damn times when he can't move. Stationary target. Like, so it just makes sense.
He's like a pole out there, man.
Right. And it's like the Chiefs defense isn't that great. So don't make it easy for him.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Bieniemy and Mahomes is like, all right, they've known each other for a long time. They've had arguments. Every if you're on a team, you've argued with somebody on your team. If you work with them, shit. If you watching this and you have coworkers that you work with for years, you argue with them too. It just happens, right? So
yeah,
especially if you're losing to the Colts,
right? Yeah. But it's like it's not a big deal until it is.
It's not. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not a thing until it's a thing.
Right. So it's like if the Chiefs go on a slide and then like shit happens, then we'll look at it. But until then, it's the fucking Chiefs.
No, I feel bad for whoever plays them next week.
We'll get to that. I was gonna speak on that, but we'll get to that.
I was looking. I was like, wait, no, don't.
They play the Bucks. They play the Bucks Sunday Night Football.
Oh, they're gonna beat the Bucks.
Bucks coming off a loss. All right. K-Dot, your thoughts?
Yeah, the Colts are still winning that division, in my opinion. And beyond that, I mean, they still got to get the turnover thing figured out, because even in that Jacksonville game, what was overlooked was the 3 turnovers in that shutout. But not having Michael Pittman and then not running the ball with Jonathan Taylor at all. As long as they run the ball with Jonathan Taylor and have that defense, they're always going to be in games. Matt Ryan, while he's not the Matt Ryan of 12 years ago, or shit, not even 5 years ago, he is enough and serviceable enough to take care of the football and put the ball in the right spots enough times in a game where if you're running it, controlling the clock, and playing defense, they should win more games than they lose. That Texans game week one in the NFL, especially after the shortened preseason and what you can't do in the offseason, is a crapshoot. And I still think there are some things that, especially these new teams, new quarterbacks in these situations, I'm giving them a few weeks to try to get right, just because, once again, the offseason and everything, it's so weird getting these rollouts. And the Bieniemy Mahomes thing, it's kind of like Mahomes is like a parent that wants their 30-some-year-old kid to get the fuck out and like go get a job somewhere else. I don't think they want Bieniemy there. I don't think they've wanted Bieniemy there for a minute. It's just he can't get the gig somewhere else. So, and there's no real reason to fire him because of what's happening. But I do think that probably at some point in time, Mahomes is like, motherfucker, if you just don't do what I want to do in this situation, I don't even know why I get here. Like, I think there might be a little element of that. But because I actually think the Chiefs are going to lose this week, it'll probably end up being a bigger issue than it should be.
They paid me $500 million, not you. You big.
You think it's weird that he didn't change the play at the line? Or maybe they didn't have the personnel.
Yeah, I don't, that is he probably didn't have the personnel to do the things that he wanted to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was probably because Bieniemy knew
like, I know he was frustrated with the play call.
But that's also to that point, isn't that also a GM issue? Because it's not like they just have world beaters at the wide receiver position. You know what I'm saying? Like, they traded away their huge weapon. Like, you can go, essentially, they've been running. I know the Ravens run like the most 13 personnel in the league, but the Chiefs are second, right behind them, running 13 personnel, which is different for them. And 12 personnel too as well. But you get Kelsey out there, you get another tight end out there.
Were they running a bunch of 11 personnel, which is why he got so angry?
I'm not sure. But I'm just saying, like so far this season, they've ran a lot more with tight ends than they usually do because their wide receiver core isn't as strong.
Mm-hmm. And they have Travis Kelce.
Also, I'd be the first to say I don't know if I trust Patrick Mahomes to call the plays.
He's not Kyler Murray.
That's fair.
I get it, but he also had talked ad nauseum about how he's just learning to read defenses and shit.
But he did read. He did learn.
I think he's a football player. He's a hell of a football player, a hell of a quarterback. But I think that give him no leash.
No. See, I mean, I think that's partly why Bieniemy can't get a fucking job. Like, if you're looking at your all-world QB that people believe that he's the best QB right now,
he is.
You put the ball in his fucking hands. Like, why are you trying to handcuff him? That makes no sense. Well, like, he's the reason why they won a lot of those games.
Yeah, for sure. But I think, to K-Dot's point, I think he might need to be reined in a little bit just because Mahomes is probably a little bit more. Mahomes might run 5 wide receivers like every time. Like, he might run that every time. And then your offense becomes a bit predictable. It's like James Harden at the top of the key. That's what he will become in the regular season. He'd be James Harden. It'd be like, oh, he's putting up such great numbers. And in the playoffs, it seems like everybody figured him out.
With a severe lack of talent at those 5 wide receiver positions.
That too.
You got Juju on the beat.
I don't hate this receiving core, and I still think Kansas City is good. But my favorite pick for that division is falling apart.
My favorite part was Mahomes, like when he handed the ball off to CEH, and he was like, "Hey, the hole's over here, bro. Like, go this way." And the man ran right into all the blockers. That was my favorite part.
Piggybacking off of one aspect, talking about the Colts and the Jaguars, I agree. I think the Colts still win the division. I know the Jaguars are fun, and I think they'll be, maybe even push for a playoff spot. I don't think they'll make it. But the Colts next few games, you got the Titans at home, got the Broncos on the road, they're struggling. Got the Jaguars at home, and you got Titans on the road. Then you go Commanders.
You say the Broncos are struggling? That's not what I'd call that.
Hey. Their offense is anemic. The Jaguars.
Didn't somebody have Russell Wilson's like MVP or MVP caliber this year?
No, not this year. That was
Geno Smith.
Yeah. Right, Geno Smith. It was dumber.
The Broncos are currently 2-1.
Yeah, they're currently 2-1, and they look like they should be 0-3.
That defense is.
Yes,
It is, but they've also gotten lucky in terms of like Trent Williams going down in that last game. Like that helped them a lot. They wouldn't have won that game if Trent Williams doesn't go down.
I hate when I see shit like that, man. Like that offensive lineman threw the man into.
Hey, man.
Yeah, that shit's tough.
Okay, so next topic. Let's switch it up. Let's stay in the AFC West. The Raiders are 0-3.
The Raiders.
A surprise to many of us. I thought they have at least one win now. They're not the only winless team, but they're the only team with 3 losses in the league. And the other teams they've played are all 1-2. Their only wins have come against the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Obviously, to the fan, I'm gonna let James go first. James is a huge Raiders fan. And so I just want your thoughts on it. I don't need your concern level. We've talked about that, but
no, it's a 5.
It's a 5.
But it's a 5. But a lot of people like to throw that stat around. But it's like, yeah, look at the teams that we lost to. It's like, yeah, the Chargers, where Kate, I think you had them going pretty far in the playoffs, or at least winning the division.
I had them win the division.
They're not anymore. The Cardinals. We fucked that up royally.
I was gonna say, what you gonna say? What
are you saying with the last 2 games? All right.
We fucked that up. Like we were up 20.
Okay.
And then you got the we lost to the Titans.
Tennessee Titans.
The Titans.
Derrick Henry's that dude. Like for real. We
is
tried
he?
to stop. Yeah, he is.
Sorry. Can you mute me?
That's fine. Look, I'm not gonna talk when you go, so it's cool.
He's muted.
Especially about the Commanders, like it's straight.
We don't have to talk about them. That's how much.
No, we're going to. All right. So I put some notes. I put some notes about the game. So Chandler Jones is still missing. He hasn't shown up since the last time he played the Titans was with the Cardinals in Week 1 of last year. Waller had some terrible drops. He dropped like a 60-yard touchdown. And then he dropped another one at the goal line, which turned into an interception. But that was Carr. I don't like Carr putting him in that position because he knew he was about to get smacked. Like, you had Josh Jacobs wide open in the flat. I didn't need all 22 to see that. Like, that was bad. But Carr has talked about being a lot of his reads are predetermined at this point in Josh McDaniel's system. And I need him to stop that shit. Because I don't like it. Like, yeah, Waller's supposed to be open there, but if the linebacker moves over to the middle a little bit more, then he can make a play. And Josh Jacobs is wide the fuck open, even though he's supposed to be covered, but he's wide open. Give him the ball. O-line is ass.
Yes.
O-line is ass.
But
and it's been ass since the offseason. And I've been saying it's been ass since the offseason. All of the Raiders fans have been saying it's been ass since the offseason, but they were like, "Oh no, we gonna get it right." We didn't get it right yet. And I know like we had no preseason, so whatever. But yeah, this ain't it. That's all I got.
I will say, I will give the Raiders credit. Your defense is pretty good. Like I know you think that you got destroyed. Derrick Henry had like 80 yards and a tug.
No, he had over 100. Because they were throwing him the ball out the backfield.
Yeah. Okay. I'm worried about him running, not so much catching. They only had 200 yards throwing the ball. Like, you guys were right in that game. It was bad offensive plays and then a couple defensive miscues.
We need to get it together, but we can only do one half at a time at this point, which is bad.
You guys are better than 0-3, but I don't know how much better. Is what I'm saying. That's not supposed to be rude. I'm saying you guys have been in winnable games. There's no blowouts here, right? Derrick Henry didn't run for 205 tugs. It was one touchdown, 85 yards on 20 carries. They just controlled the ball. And you guys were right there at the end. You scored a touchdown, missed a 2-point conversion.
No, fuck this. No. I'm not
Please, can we stop this nonsense?
I am not hearing this shit. No, because I told y'all this before the season. The luck gotta swing back. No more luck. It's no more. It's gonna be a reason every week. It's gonna be, hey, we were no, you're gonna let me talk because I let you talk.
Go ahead.
So it's gonna be a reason every week. It's gonna be, we were close. We almost had, and it's gonna be something like that every week. It's just gonna keep happening. It's gonna be, hey, we played really good. We played the Chiefs really good. We played the Broncos really good. We played them all, and you're gonna play them all really good. And you're gonna go fucking 8-9. Doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. You're gonna go 8-9. You played them well. Great. Good job. What do you fucking want? A fucking cookie? It doesn't matter. You're not going to beat them. You don't have enough. They don't have enough talent. They need to adjust as far as the coaching. They gotta get used to Josh and all that stuff. And they need a better quarterback. But
so much hate.
Are you calm now? Because what do you mean we don't have enough talent?
Have a shit. I'm not you talk. They have a shit offensive line.
You're just saying stupid shit right now.
They have a shit offensive line. They have a shit secondary. And so they don't. And two of the most important things you need in this league, the way it's been played, offensive line, good secondary. And they have neither.
Look.
You're just saying some bullshit, just trying to make me angry.
I don't try to make you angry. I don't want to make you angry. Ryan made me angry. You're almost there. You're almost there. I don't give a shit. No, it doesn't matter.
Almost there.
All right, look. So Ryan say some shit to make you mad, and then you talk to me.
No, he's talking about the Raiders.
He's talking about the Raiders. I was talking to Ryan.
What did I say?
You interrupted me.
Can I go? Right. I muted myself. All right. Just based on what James has told me on this podcast, them not beating the Cardinals or the Titans in convincing fashion, in case losing to both, is a cause for fucking concern. Literally, you're 0-3. Every team's only victory is against the Raiders. Josh McDaniels is getting called into Mark Davis's office, getting chewed the fuck out. The wheels have come off, guys. It's bad. Here's the thing. Because of the way the NFL works, and because you're only 3 games into the season, anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. But if I'm looking at the core fundamentals of what's up with the Raiders, and looking at Josh McDaniels as just who I think he is as head coach, and I said this shit back then, biggest mistake the Raiders have made was not fucking extending Rich Bisaccia, in my fucking opinion. In the sense of what it is that Josh McDaniels is doing, the same way he is everywhere, is that he's got to have an offense or run it. What he has with the Raiders right now is not necessarily the recipe for success that he's had with other teams as far as the personnel. They put up points in it when it came to when he had Tom Brady and Randy Moss, but when it came down to how many Super Bowl victories did they have during that era? None. When he went to Denver, what's the first thing that happened? Jay Cutler and fucking Brandon Marshall are gone. This style of offense with what Josh McDaniels is good at doing is not working yet. And they've got to figure this shit out. I don't think Josh McDaniels is a dog shit coach. I do think he's an upgrade over John Gruden. I absolutely think he's an upgrade over John Gruden.
Absolutely is.
And you guys have talent. Devontae Adams is the second best receiver in the league. Justin Jefferson, number 1. Derek Carr can play quarterback. He's a solid quarterback. We've seen him perform the quarterback position. And you have a top 5 tight end in Darren Waller. I think people would arguably say he's probably number 3.
He's 4.
No, never mind, 4. Yeah, you're right. Kittle, Kelsey, Andrews, and then Waller.
Yeah, he's fine.
But to me, and that's the thing is I would think that what McDaniels is going to want to do is build the offense almost around Waller in a sense. But if what James is saying, Waller's dropping fucking balls, that's going to be a bit of an issue.
I mean, that's just one game. And I've said this.
Can I have one more point, real quick?
Sorry.
the AFC West, regardless of whatever's happening right now, is still, in my opinion, the toughest fucking division in football.
Sure.
And as of right now, you guys are 0-3 with one game against the Chargers, who just like they're the fucking Ravens of this year. They were my pick, but they are getting fucking demolished with injuries and nothing they could do. And they need to shut down Herbert. I don't know why anybody's fucking dealing with that right now. There's a lot more games they could lose. I'm waiting for what's that first win going to be. And I say, if it doesn't happen against Denver this week, guys, Jesus.
Denver's 2-1, and they're not a very good team. Their defense is phenomenal, but they are just not.
There's no way they lose to Denver. There's literally no way they lose to Denver.
They can't, right? But hold on. But do we think there was a way they'd lose to Arizona and then Tennessee?
I mean, they're still trying to figure
Tennessee,
it out.
I thought was viable. Arizona, no. Tennessee, I thought was viable because they're both 0-2 coming into the matchup. Both teams are desperate. You never know. Two teams are desperate. But Arizona, they should not have lost. Broncos, there's no way to lose, in my opinion, because you got the Josh narrative, like, oh, his first coaching stop, he's got to beat them now, and we're 0-3 and we should be 2-1.
Hey, James, what's your concern index if they lose to the Broncos?
And here's the thing, though. Let's say, because a lot of us are predicting Kansas City goes into Tampa and loses, right? Herbert's hurt.
I don't want to, but yeah.
Denver is going to lose to the Raiders. They're one game back. After starting 0-3 in their division, they will be one game back in the division.
Totally fair.
It's crazy. I'm just saying. Yeah. This division is going to be fucking wild.
James looks like he made it off the beach of Dunkirk. 1,000-yard stare over there.
I still haven't watched that.
You've never seen Dunkirk?
First off, we're not doing this. Neither of you. Nope. All right. Hey, we're moving on. Look at me on track like a train.
That was good. I appreciate that. Moving on.
You didn't do the cut the fat man thing, though.
I was doing that earlier. No one was paying attention.
You control the mute.
You do control the mute.
Off. I was trying to get someone to be like, yeah, cut the fat man off.
The next terrible team we want to discuss is the Commanders. The Eagles completely destroyed them. And do you know how I know? Because in one of the fantasy leagues that I'm in, it might be the ASOS one, I had Carson Wentz starting, Thomas and Scary Terry. And I was so excited because I knew it was going to be a shootout. And at one point, the Washington Commanders had -2 yards of offense, and the Eagles had 396. So, K-Dot, as we do, please tell us about your shit team.
All right, so this game, I think I said the same thing. I'm having deja vu. Not good. So, look, man, there's not a lot to hang your hat on. It's not a lot you want to hang your hat on. You kind of want to burn the hat at this particular point after this game. But I'm actually a little less the sky's falling than most Commanders fans are after this game. I didn't expect us to win this game. I was hoping that we'd have offensive firepower, but actually the inverse thing happened, which was that Philadelphia had an explosion of points in the second quarter, but the rest of the game, our defense actually did a pretty fucking decent job against Jalen Hurts and that attack. And as a matter of fact, if Ron Rivera gets his fucking challenge flag out fast enough, it was like a 40-yard fucking catch to Devontae Smith that gets wiped off the fucking books, and that drive comes crashing down. So I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, when it comes to the Commanders, is that what I was talking about last week in the sense of, like, where my concern was, in the sense of it felt like the offense was doing pretty good, but the defense was like, holy shit, I got no faith the defense is going to get right. And then we have a game against who everybody's picking to be the NFC fucking favorites for the Super Bowl. We had a fairly decent fucking defensive performance, especially with an offense that kept having 3 and outs and have the fucking defense who worked down to I think 50 something snaps on the defensive line were played by guys that we signed last week. That's how injured we were on the defensive line. And the fact that we were still in that game. William Jackson, our starting corner, also out. Like, and Chase Young still hasn't fucking played it down, right? So, I mean, if I'm looking at the defense I'm not going to say they got totally right, but they got in the right direction against a team like Philadelphia. I'm also looking back at the games that we beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. They don't look like a shit team right now. The Detroit Lions, we almost came back and beat them. Still a loss, still a bad loss. But Detroit looks to be feisty as shit. I'm just saying 1 and 2 out of these games right now, I'm not full-blown panicking. I think this game was more about Carson Wentz just kind of shrinking in himself because he didn't have any interceptions. Good boy, Carson. But then he also kept holding on the football for entirely too long, and he got sacked 9 times. 4.5, I'd say, is absolutely him holding on to the football too long. The other 4.5 I give to the fact that why are we doing seven-step drops when they're getting pressure like that? When we got dudes that could go out in the flat that you could kind of stop their blitz. What the hell was that, Scott Turner? Like that, those are the sort of things where I look and I'm like, anybody watching that game could have easily rectified what was happening with that blitz. And we didn't. And it was like, what's going on? And so it just, to me, is one of those games that everybody get to look at themselves in the mirror and say, what the fuck was that about?
Ryan?
I think the story of this game is less about Jalen Hurts and that offense and more about the Eagles defense is fucking legit.
Jordan Davis had like 4 pressures.
Defense, and I don't think I watched the plays last week where Darius Slay was just shitting on people, but it seemed like that was most of the conversation. Nobody was open, and or Carson Wentz had green in his face within 2 steps of his drop. That defense is legitimate, very legitimate. And that scares me about the Eagles because I think Jalen Hurts has made the progression to good quarterback this year with good receivers. And like, it doesn't matter who's in the backfield. Was it Boston Scott and fucking Miles Sanders? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they're going to be staring at Jalen because he can also run for 70 yards. It's that defense is outstanding. And it's proof because a lot of those sacks where he was holding onto the ball for too long, there's nowhere to fucking go with it because the coverage was very, very good.
You got to look at the there were a lot of dudes that are open in the flat and stuff. He just wasn't doing it.
How open?
That's fair.
They were fairly open. I honestly do think just little thing. I do think that article about Jimmy G before that got leaked that the Commanders had a trade offer in place for Jimmy G. And the only reason it didn't happen was because of shoulder surgery. So then they went and got Carson Wentz after Carson Wentz had been told this entire offseason how you are our number 1 choice. We really love you. We really wanted you more than anybody else. Carson is a dude that really likes to be liked. And for some reason, people just don't like him. I don't think that he's done anything wrong. But
he's a ginger.
It might be just that, in all honesty, because I struggle with trying to figure out why people hate him. But the fact the stadium was packed full of Eagles fans, Carson die the entire fucking time. They couldn't even get the silent snap right. Like we had the silent snap in our fucking home. Like it was bad.
It was bad. It was very hard to watch, but not as hard to watch as the game last time. So you got that going for you.
I think much credit to the Eagles defense. They traded up for Jordan Davis ahead of us, thinking we would take him over Kyle Hamilton. I think Kyle Hamilton was always going to be the pick, but they got Jordan Davis, and Jordan Davis looks great. He's bringing pressure, stuff in the run. He looks amazing. I'm happy for Jalen Hurts. He's gotten better. He got the same kind of treatment Lamar did, even though he's not. I don't think he's the level that Lamar's on, and I don't think he'll get to that level. But I think he's got to the I'm really good level. And so. Happy for Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. I didn't think Devonta Smith was going to be that good. I was so worried that he'd be like too wiry, too skinny, and all that stuff. But he took some fucking tough hits. He made some tough fucking catches. He looks great. It looks amazing. So shout out to him. As far as the Commanders go, I think they'll figure some of this stuff out. I didn't know about the injuries that K-Dot was talking about, but I think they'll figure some of this stuff out and kind of be. I think they'll round out into a little bit better team than they're looking right now. I don't think they'll be right now. I think they're the bottom of the division. I don't think they'll finish at the bottom of the division. What, Ryan?
Just real quick. It also frustrated me because 1, I had to watch that game, and 2,
it wasn't fun.
Gibson, when he got the ball, his vision is so fucking narrow. There would be a gap for 10 yards and he just fucking right into the ass of the lineman in front of him. And I'd just be like, just go left.
Is that Brian
Robinson is coming?
I hear you, and I hope that that's the answer. But I can tell you that Gibson is a liability, because if you can't run the ball with Carson Wentz not getting time, which he's not currently, you have no chance of winning. Like, you don't have to worry about the run. And McKissick is great out of the back catching in the flats. He's a fucking stud. Should have been a Bill, but
I'm trying to figure out a way to send him to Buffalo.
But he
doesn't deserve this.
The issue is a lot to do on the offense with the running game, and I think they'll figure it out. And I don't think they really care, because it's the first 3 games you're 1-2, which is, I think, where they expect it to be. So, but it's got to get figured out, because I have to watch all the games because all my friends are Commanders fans, and so I have to fucking watch them, and I don't want to watch them, but I want to watch a good team, and that's just not it.
You miss it.
All right.
No,
James.
no. What do I miss about it? Fuck.
James.
Sorry, James.
Y'all beat Jacksonville. You'll be all right. That's all I got. It's fucking the 3rd week of the season. There's 14 more to go.
Panic level now 4.
No, I'm still at 5.
K-Dot was at a 7. I think he's dropped. He was at a 7 after week 2.
Yeah, I think I fucked up. I think my scale fucked up. James came in with a fucking 4 and blew the whole scale up.
All right, let me ask you this question, K-Dot. If y'all had lost to Jacksonville, where would you be at right now?
How did we lose?
Last second Hail Mary at the end of the game. Like,
if we were 0-3 right now,
yeah,
I'd be more upset.
You're upset, yeah. Like,
I'm not that upset. That's the thing. I'm not that upset.
I'm upset.
I know you're upset.
Yeah. And I just, like, while you were talking, I just watched the video of Dan Orlovsky talking about the same shit I just talked about, but what the fuck ever, where Carr has shit breed.
Do not go back to the Raiders. Can you mute him? We're not doing this. We're not fucking doing this. We're not doing the Raiders talk in the Commanders section.
Also, Dan Orlovsky's only good for being the only other quarterback to take a safety by stepping out of the end zone. That's all I got,
man. He's a good commentator.
He's great. No, he's a great analyst.
Yeah, that's some good shit on TV.
He was so angry about that safety. He's like, I used to be the only one.
Those who can't do teach, right?
He was happy.
Yeah. He couldn't play football.
I'm commanding this. I'm commanding this away from this topic.
Y'all be all right though. Like, it's the fucking, like, you play the Cowboys next.
Yep.
So,
I got a rush of blood to my penis.
Yep, you got the Cowboys.
All right. So Ravens Pats. The Ravens won. They looked good.
Than I thought.
Lamar was great. Secondary still has some issues, but they're starting to figure it out. Defensive line looked like they still need some work, but they look good. But I think the biggest thing was that Lamar kind of carries. J.K. Dobbins is back. That's good. But I'm not going to rant and rave about the Ravens. But what I want to know from you guys is right now, in week 3, through week 3, to you all.
Josh Allen.
Because you know my answer.
Josh Allen.
Who is the best quarterback in football right now? James starts.
I don't care.
Okay.
There's only one guy that I could truly say is elite. His name's Joe Flacco. He's in New York.
Yes. Yes.
No, who's the best? This is where it goes to. We have to go back to the drawing board and how we defined value from the quarterback position. And in that sense, I'd give it to Lamar Jackson under the new rules, but I'd go Josh Allen.
You know I got a boner for Lamar, but it's got to be Josh for me.
Same.
Okay. Cool. I bet you Lamar want to short arm the fucking throw in the fucking heat because he's from Miami. So fuck Josh Allen.
That Miami Heat different. That shit different.
That's the thing. Them Florida boys, man, them fucking they psychos.
My buddy was down there at the game and he texted me, he goes, dude, it's fucking hot. And I was like, it's 64 here. I don't know nothing about that.
Can't relate. All right, so moving on. Chargers injuries, man. I feel bad for the Chargers. They're like super hurt. Obviously, there are a bunch of other injuries throughout the NFL, but I think the Chargers are getting bit by the injury bug badly. J.C. Jackson is just getting. Did he get injured again? I know he came back. Did he get injured again? Rashawn Slater, Joey Bosa, Justin Herbert, obviously injured. Keenan Allen hasn't played.
He's back this week.
Yeah, he said he'd be back this week, but just Chargers injuries. What do we think? Just based off those injuries and everything, what do we think they finish in terms of their division now? Just obviously it's just week 3 and they could figure shit out. Justin Herbert could have insane pain toleration and just carry them throughout the season. But where do we think they finish? Do we think our picks significantly change now, or what are your thoughts? Let's get James out of the way.
No, just go ahead. Like, you ain't gotta talk to me. Go ahead. Just get me out the way. Just go ahead.
They gotta be
salty.
Hey, let's get James out the way. Like,
if they don't get healthy, they're gonna be in the hot. It's gonna be hard for them to win, right? Because they're not gonna win without Justin Herbert. They're not gonna win without Joey Bosa. Not having Allen this past week was really evident because what is his name? Jared
Everett.
Jared. Yeah, it's Jared. Is it Gerald? I thought it was like Gerard, Eric. Is it no L? I feel like there's no L.
Anyway, that is not
Gerald.
Gerald, okay.
It's not an elite receiving core without Williams. So, and their defense is decimated. So if they can't, that was the thing last offseason was get the defense right because Justin Herbert could throw it everywhere. And now he doesn't have people to throw to. He's got one rib, like that fucking, what was the rock star back in the, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, that if they don't get healthy in the next few weeks, they're going to be in 3rd or 4th in the division because they have probably the toughest schedule playing Vegas, Denver, and Kansas City twice, right? So if they don't have Herbert and their defense healthy, that team's garbage. The team runs off good offense and a stout defense.
Just a quick thing. Here, I'm going to give you their next few games. Texans on the road. Browns on the road. Broncos at home. Seahawks at home. Falcons on the road. 49ers on the road.
I mean, if Herbert can go, they win 80% of those games. If Herbert can't go,
they still win 80%.
Not with that defense as it's currently constructed. No fucking way. No fucking way.
No
Browns will run all over them. The Browns will have 300 yards rushing. It's really tough for them right now. I would shut down Herbert till he's healthy.
I thought they were going to do that this week and like just take him out and like let him play next week. That's what I thought.
Herbert probably was like, "Nah, I'm gonna fucking play. I got this SoFi contract. I got to be out here. I get paid per game."
All right,
DM, bro.
I am with shutting Justin Herbert down, but to answer your question, if it vastly changes what's happened as far as where I thought they would finish, yes, because I had them clearly winning the division. I had them winning the division by like 2 games. They were, I think, my number 1 seed in the AFC. That has changed. That has absolutely changed. But has it? Huh?
I think they were mine too.
Yeah. So I'm not picking them to do that just because I don't think Herbert's healthy enough. Regardless, even if he does play the rest of the season, he's only gonna get worse or stay where he is right now, which is a not 100% version of him. So I mean, I still probably have him finishing 2nd in the division, if I'm being completely honest. Denver's a fucking mess, and the Raiders are 0-3. They've lost to the Titans. Well, we already rehashed that. So I think that's where I'm at. Is it 2nd or 3rd in the division? But I probably got to go in 2nd. I got the Chiefs winning. But the AFC West as a whole is just going to look messy for a little bit, and they'll right the ship by the end of the season. They'll look like the division we think they are by the end of the season.
I had them going 12-5, so I didn't have them winning the AFC. I think I had the Bills with 15-2. Yeah, because I had the Bills going 15-2 because it was insane. And so with that said, I think just permitting health, man.
Oh no, really the Ravens were my number 1 seed, sir.
It really just depends on Herbert, his threshold for pain, and all that good stuff. I still think they can finish first in that division because that's a rocky division. It's a tough one, and teams are going to beat up on each other. And I think, like you said, like if the Chiefs lose and the Chargers win, then they're both 2-2 now. And then you're like, okay, and the Broncos, I don't know what they'll do. They might lose too. So then you're all 2-2, and the Raiders are like 1-3, and it's the division we envisioned it to be, which is a tough division, and everybody within a game of each other. So, and then because they play the Texans, Browns, Seahawks, Falcons, in 4 of their next 5.
You besmirching Gino right now? Get out of here, bro.
I just think they have the path to, hey, we're now 5-3. And we're about to get shit started, and we're a little bit healthier after a few weeks, and they can look good. And I think
the issue with Herbert is he's just not as mobile, which is weird to him, which is why he's fumbling, because he's like, I should be able to get out of this pocket way faster. And this lineman is in my face now because I have this is broken. At least he didn't get jabbed.
They should shut him down to the bye week.
Tyrod is my homeboy.
If need be.
Did he do it?
Okay, so with that, we can switch to picks for this week.
Yes, let us do that.
All right, so
fuck. All right.
Yeah, Dolphins. Let me pull this up. Dolphins at Cincinnati Thursday, 8:15 on Amazon Prime. Who we got?
I thought Judge just hit his 61st, but I was lied to by the internet. I'm taking the Bengals. God damn it, Joe.
Fuck.
I'm taking the Go ahead. I'm taking the Bengals too.
I'm taking the Bengals as well.
James has not allowed me to unmute him, so
he just click unmute himself.
You just go up to the top.
Oh my god. Are we really doing this?
All right. Dolphins. He said Dolphins. He's back.
All right. So Minnesota at New Orleans.
Have you guys watched New Orleans play?
Is this in London?
Yeah, in London. I forgot. Yes, that's important. In London, 9:30 a.m. Eastern.
Vikings.
Yes.
Vikings.
Saints.
They travel well.
They went to London straight, I think, after the game Sunday. I think that helps. That helps in London games. Teams get acclimated a little bit more, a little bit better.
Does this count as prime time for Kirk Cousins? What's the time in England?
That's a good question. That might change my pick. That's a good question. And I might need to change my pick. That's a good question, buddy.
They're playing in Tottenham Stadium, so that is prime. That is prime for them. That's going to be packed.
I still get Vikings, but
Cleveland at Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Browns.
Who did I pick in this?
Give me the Browns.
I'm just trying to remember who I picked earlier. Browns, yeah. Browns. Washington at Dallas. I'm going with Washington.
I am also going with Washington. That is bizarre.
Cowboys.
Same.
Hey, yo, I think we can win this game. It's just not one that I picked that we'd win. So I'm not going.
You're emotionally hedging right now.
I'm not. All right, hold on. Can I say one thing? So, did y'all watch the Giants Cowboys game last night?
Yes.
When we're recording.
I'm angry.
The first drive that the Giants put together, where they kept doing like the hurry up, and Daniel Jones had like 5. He was like 5 of 5. And they were marching down the field until they started to do something a little deep, and it just petered out, and then they had the blocked field goal. The way that they ran that offense at the beginning of that game, they weren't really giving the ball to Saquon. It was just Daniel Jones, is what Washington can do really, really, really well. Okay. If we throw the ball that way. I'm just saying it could get nasty, but I'm more often rooting for a quarterback controversy in Dallas right now. That's what I'm rooting for.
You're the devil.
I've been right about this thing, have I not?
No. Moving on. Seattle at Detroit. I'm taking the Lions.
Same.
Lions. Yeah, pick Gino.
MVP candidate, Geno Smith.
Okay. Are you taking the Seahawks? Right. All right. That's fair.
Does CJ Prosai still play for that team?
Jesus Christ.
I don't think so. Tennessee at Indianapolis.
That Colts. Oh, Titans fans from you. Are you pitting the Titans to the lost? No, I'm sorry. The Colts.
No. They actually decided to use Derrick Henry the way he's supposed to be used now.
I'm going Colts. Jonathan Taylor's better than Derrick Henry.
Agreed.
Titans.
Gotta do it for more than 1 year.
Bears at Giants. I'm going G-Men.
Same.
Fucking Giants.
Justin Fields, the Bears.
All right, brother. All right. You're going to get one of these wrong picks right. Jacksonville at Philadelphia.
I got the Eagles, but it's going to be closer than a lot of people think.
The Eagles are going to blow them out.
I don't think so.
I'm taking Eagles, baby.
I think it's going to be like we got to start respecting the Jaguars.
You can, but the Eagles defense might have the best defense in the league. So I will
Jaguars
take that.
defense, no
I'll tell you this right now: if they were playing at Jacksonville, I'd pick them. But I'm going Eagles.
Yeah, but they're not. They can't play it. Jacksonville is going to be a fucking like giant well of water.
I think the Eagles think that Commanders game went too sweet, and I think they on cruise control. And I don't think I think they need to wake the fuck up.
They've been doing that every week, though.
No, they haven't. They barely beat the fucking Lions.
They had to come back for that shit too.
They were up on them like we were up on the Dolphins. They just didn't. They just held on. That was the only. They just held on.
Wasn't it the opposite?
Just hold on. I'm coming home.
No, the Eagles were up. The Eagles were up.
Oh.
The Lions came back.
All right. Okay.
DeAndre Swift is nice.
He's out. I think
he is out.
I believe he's going to be out.
And hurt.
Okay. So, Jets at Steelers.
Steelers.
Get the fuck out of here.
Steelers. I told you, you're going to get one of these wrong picks right, brother. You might get a couple of them right.
Benny and Joe Flacco and the Jets.
Homeboy's coming back this week.
Okay.
Oh, Zach's back?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Give me the Jets.
Okay.
Instead of the ghost of Mitch Trubisky? No way.
The game I will be at.
And I will be at.
Bills at the Baltimore Ravens. The third best quarterback this season faces the best quarterback this season at home. So far, being Josh Allen being third, Lamar being first. I'll let you guys go first. I don't give a fuck in what order you go. I'll go last.
Why?
Because I want to.
Let me have Keem gets a very normal welcome to Baltimore experience with a loss. Because you got to feel as though something bad happened to you coming out of Baltimore. So it's the only way to make people feel. It's how you know you had the Baltimore experience.
Your windshield will be clean.
Your windshield will be clean, though. Absolutely.
Okay.
Emotionally, I have to take the Bills.
Okay.
So I think everybody here is going to take the Bills. So I'm going to take the Ravens.
Okay. So just want to add a couple things. Lamar, this is the third time in Lamar's career he is a dog at home. The last two times he beat that ass. And so with that said, I really going into this the same way I thought the Chiefs weren't going to make the playoffs all off season long. I really thought the Bills were just going to beat us. Micah Hyde's gone. They don't have Tre'Davious White for this game. They can't stop the run. Josh Allen's hand is hurt.
And you're still going to pick the Bills. Just get to the end of it.
And so I'm picking the Ravens.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm switching mine. I didn't know about the injuries.
Going there.
What? You knew Micah Hyde was hurt? What do you mean?
Dude,
Poyer's out too, right?
Fever dream, 72 hours. Do I know what anything is right now?
Ryan, Poyer's out too, right?
He might be back.
Okay.
He was at a function today where he looked okay.
Hey, the Bills could win. All they got to do is attack the Ravens secondary.
What's your guys' record right now?
Us?
We're both 2-1.
2-1. We're both 2-1.
All right, I'm gonna stick with the Bills. This is the last game the Ravens lose this season.
Okay. I don't think so, but okay. If we do lose, I think because we're going to lose against the Bengals the week after, which we might win this one, lose against the Bengals. Doesn't matter. Anyway, all right. So Chargers at Houston. Chargers.
Yep.
Chargers.
Same.
Arizona at Carolina.
Arizona.
Fuck. Carolina.
New England at Green Bay.
Oh man.
Green Bay.
Sorry, Mac Jones.
He's not playing. Brian Hoyer's playing.
No, I know. I said I'm sorry for his ankle.
Oh, okay. Oh no. Fuck that.
Green Bay. Brian with the high.
I know it made me so happy. It made me so happy. They said he was screaming in pain. I was like, that's hilarious.
Not even broken.
Like, that is hilarious.
You'd be laughing when he's fucking when Lamar Jackson in a goddamn Patriots uniform next year. You son of a bitch.
I would franchise him.
If Lamar left the Ravens and went to the Patriots, I just wouldn't watch football no more. Denver at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders.
Same.
Kansas City at Tampa Bay.
Hey, if they lose, what's your concern in that?
No. Hey,
no, he's muted. Yep.
All right, what's yours?
No, both muted.
No, Kansas City at Tampa Bay. I'm taking Kansas City.
Nah, what's yours, K-Dot? What's your level of concern?
Nope, I got mutes on lock.
I'm just trying to make
I'm not
my
muted
pick.
right now. What's your concern? Okay.
For who? For you?
No, for you.
If we lose,
Yeah.
doesn't change. It's the
Okay.
Cowboys. I expect us to lose.
What's the game?
Chiefs Bucks. So I said something earlier in the pod about picking the Bucks in this game because I don't like to pick Tom Brady losing back-to-back games. Give me the Bucks. Yeah, fuck it. Give me the Bucks. And he gets Mike Evans back.
It's
Which is a big deal.
This game gets moved. Just a
Yeah.
Oh, there is also the chance that happens.
A chance it gets played in Kansas City. Give me the Chiefs.
Bingo. All right. Chargers.
Bango. Bongo.
Rams at Niners. Monday Night Football.
Jimmy G. I'm not fucking leaving. Nah, give me the Rams.
Actually, give me Jimmy G. I'm taking
Really?
Listen, Trent Williams hurt. They hate the fucking
Words.
Shanahan owns McVay.
That is true.
Shanahan owns McVay. That's it.
I like it.
Aaron Donald owns everybody on the 49ers, so Rams.
Except he has a losing record against them when Shanahan and McVay is the coach.
So
this is the toughest game this week. Fuck. Who'd you pick, Ryan?
Oh, no.
What?
Pick your own fucking. Take your fucking pick.
I guess I'll go Rams. I just want to do the opposite of what he did, but
I know you did.
it's not about the standings. I'm number one. You almost like need to make moves from me.
Yeah, for now you sure are. I was laughing.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up. So the current standings is who's in last? Let's see. That's you, K-Dot, right?
Huh?
That's you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's me.
All right. So
after the first week, that's crazy.
You got 28 points.
That's crazy.
I think. All right. So Cam is second with 25. I'm third with 24, and Ryan has 19.
Hey man, I just gotta study harder, and I got some time to study this.
You do just study harder.
I did.
You gotta read all this stuff.
No, I read like articles and biographies and like historical scores and the weather reports. I'm good.
You just gotta study harder.
Yeah.
I also haven't lost in our fantasy league.
That's good, man. That's a new for you.
I'm so proud of you. You weren't even to come back this year. Look at you. I'm so proud.
You starting off exactly opposite of how you started last year. And pendulum swings, don't it? In real life too. Look at that.
Can we do final thoughts? I don't like this.
All right. Mets are in the playoffs. Hockey's starting. Basketball's starting. Football's here. This is the best time of the year.
Rick and Morty has been fucking dope this season. So is Atlanta. And but the person I want to shout out more than anything is there's a composer for Rick and Morty named Ryan Elder, who is putting together some fucking music for that show that is next level. And I just think people need to really pay attention to that name because he has done some movies, but I think he's going to get more looks with what he's been doing with Rick and Morty. And I think I could see him doing some really, really big things composing cinema-wise.
Agreed. Who's next?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On that bombshell. Good night, Jets.
Love
Raiders suck.
Peace.